Hello, third grade. You're going to start a new story today. It's called A Jar of Oil. I hope that you'll watch the video that I provided yesterday on Google Classroom on your Wednesday reading in the classwork tab because you'll see some children more recently making olive oil, and they're doing it the way that it used to be done. And so I think that will help you understand this informational text even better. I want to say that this is informational text. So that means you can pull out all of the key ideas. That's what I'm going to want you to do. I'm going to want you to pull out some key ideas about making olive oil that you find out in your text in the next couple of days. Here are some words that you're going to see as you go along. Look at number 1 at this word. I'm going to split it up into syllable parts. Now, that first letter could be saying its name, its long sound, because that's an open syllable there. But it also could say its third sound, ah. And so in this case, that's what it's going to be doing. You would want to try it both ways and see which would make the correct word. You could say anoint, and then you could say anoint. And if you've heard that word before, you'll know the right pronunciation for that, anoint. And then we're going to put that together and see that we're talking about when that already happened, that action already happened. So we're going to add ed, and it's going to say anointed. Okay, now anointed means, or to anoint means to put oil on someone as part of a religious ceremony. And kings used to have their heads anointed with oil poured on it. I like the picture in your book even better than the picture that I found. On page 21, you'll see someone having his head anointed with oil. That's the king. God is showing that he is appointing or choosing a king that he will use to lead his people. Some of the kings did a good job leading the people, asked God for wisdom and followed his direction, and some of them didn't. But let's go ahead and read this sentence. You read it to yourself now, and then I'll read it with you. Let's read it together. The king was anointed with oil. Nice job. Look for that word in your text. Let's go on to the next one. In the next one, I'm going to split this up for you into syllables. And so the first part says lux. The second part says and the third part says e, luxury. Now, our x sound gets a little bit lazy in our mouth when we put these 3 syllables together. It's not luxury, it's luxury. Okay, so the sound changes just a little bit as we pull the syllables together. What does luxury mean? Well, it's a very rich, pleasant, comfortable surroundings. Would be one definition for it. So look at these 2 pictures really quickly. They both look like they're a lot of fun. They might even both be very pleasant, but which one is rich and comfortable? I hope you picked this one. This one is probably honestly more comfortable, certainly more rich, more expensive. And so this is a good sentence to help us understand luxury. Go ahead and read that to yourself, and then we'll read it aloud. All right, let's read it together. When I say read it to yourself, you may still read it out loud. That's always a good practice, because then if you're missing a word, somebody that's listening to you can help you. But let's read it together. We could not afford the luxury of a hotel, so we camped out in our tent. You know what? I bet this family that's writing had just as much fun. Maybe they weren't as comfortable, but if they were together as a family, I bet they had just as much fun. Let's look at the next one. Here's the next one right here. I'm going to split it up into syllable parts. And so we have prosper, and then let's put that base word together. And then this is going to be an adjective describing a business in this case, okay? And since it's an adjective, we are going to add this ending to it, and OU is going to say Remember, we've talked about how OU usually says ow, but it can say oo and And in this case, when you have adjectives that come, Let me say that again. When you have adjectives and you hear us at the end, us, you're going to spell it O-U-S, and you're going to pronounce it us. Okay? So, prosperous. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's having or showing success or financial good fortune. Financial means money. Somebody who is prosperous, or a business in this case that is prosperous, is able to get a lot of money. They're earning a lot of money. They have a lot of money, okay? They might have to work hard for it, but they are able to get a lot of money. So read that sentence and then we'll read it together. Let's read it together. Dad's business was so prosperous this year that we were able to buy a new car. Let's move on to the next one. All right, this one is a one-syllable base word, and then we need to show that it already happened. Something already happened, so we're going to add ed. That's past tense. So let's see, what does the base word say? That's right, it says strain. Let's make it say that it already happened. Strained. Good job. Go ahead and read the whole sentence, and it will help you understand what strain means. Let's read that together. Manny strained the pulp from his orange juice. Can you get a picture in your mind of what it means to strain something? Here are some devices that we use to strain, some tools we use to strain. This mom or grandma is straining the water out of the spaghetti noodles. You could use this strainer to strain the orange juice pulp out so that your orange juice is nice and smooth because the juice runs back into the pitcher and anything that's left over in the strainer is the pulp. And then the last word, I already had it split up for you. Let me show you what it looks like put together, and I'm going to split it up for you again. This is really a simple word because we just have two closed syllables. Now, we do need to remember that when we see C and then I, E, or Y, the C says what sound? That's right. So make sure you read it like that. Read it to yourself. Let's read it together. Rancid. Rancid. Put that back together. Rancid. And you're going to know what kind of a smell rancid is. Or what kind of a condition something is in if it is rancid as soon as you read this sentence. Read it to yourself, please. Okay, the sentence says, the rotting meat smelled rancid. So rancid is when food smells bad or tastes bad because it's getting rotten, or it might be becoming stale. That's what rancid means. It's spoiling food, basically. All right. Well, that is all that I have for you today. You'll probably find some other words that you need to ask somebody listening to you read for clarification. Remember, good readers clarify. They find out meanings. I want you to try your very best to decode on your own. And sometimes you'll know what the word means after you decode it when you're reading it in the sentence. The sentence will help you understand the meaning. But if you still don't understand, you need to clarify. Good readers find out what the words mean so that they can understand what they're reading. And I want you to be doing that. I want you to clarify. Ask somebody, what does this word mean, so that you can understand the text. And then I want you to, just like I said, and I'll put this in the directions for your family, but I want you to be thinking about some key ideas as you read, because this is informational text. This is true. It's not just a story that someone made up. This is true information, and I know a lot of times that's something that's very fun to read because you get to learn new things. And so I want you to tell me what you learned. Pull out the key ideas, or maybe you already knew, but you say, you know what, this author is giving me some good details here and some good ideas. And so you pull those out and you ask somebody to type those on Google Classroom so that I can see that you know how to read text and pull out the key ideas. Have a wonderful Thursday. Thank you for your kind attention.